I guess, understand. I think with being in the NBA, is
He was malnourished, for sure.
It is getting ugly as Marcus Smart claps back at Jayson Tatum. Marcus knew Celtics fans would be interested in him as soon as he signed with the Lakers.
I have no idea, but I could definitely tell and say that I'm expecting a lot of boos. I'm expecting a lot of hate.
He was not prepared for Jayson Tatum to also make disparaging remarks. Marcus is now retaliating. It is messy, too, the way he dragged Tatum. Let us dissect everything. How Marcus Smart addressed his former teammates and betrayed Boston. Several NBA teams were expected to rebuild in the summer of 2025. However, no one could have imagined that Marcus Smart, the Boston Celtics mainstay for almost 10 years, would wind up joining the Los Angeles Lakers, their fiercest rivals. Folks, this is not your typical free agency move. Every Celtics supporter who has watched Smart bleed green for 9 incredible seasons would feel as though a dagger had been stabbed straight into their hearts.
Like, are you right? Like, what do you do now? Do you root for Marcus, which in turn means you're rooting for the Lakers? Or do you root against the Lakers, which in turn means you're hoping Marcus fails?
Allow me to illustrate the true devastation caused by this move. Following a contract buyout with the Washington Wizards, 2022 NBA Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart joined the Los Angeles Lakers in July 2025. We are speaking of a guy that personified all that Boston was known for: tenacity, resolve, and that blue-collar work ethic that won over a whole fan base. Gold and purple, the colors of the franchise that stands for everything Boston hates, are now on him.
I get a call from my agent saying, hey, Luka's reached out. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, all right. And then another day, same thing, Luka reached out again. And now it's real. It's no longer what ifs. It's real, and it's something we need to talk about.
However, we must first comprehend how deeply ingrained Smart's Boston origins were before delving into the complete mayhem that followed the announcement of this information. This was not just a journeyman who switched teams. After the Celtics selected Smart 6th overall in 2014, he played for Boston for 9 seasons, making the playoffs each year and making it to the Eastern Conference Finals 5 times. He was there during the rebirth, the devastating defeats, and the just-missed title runs. He was the rock that Celtics supporters could always rely on to give it his all on every single possession. The player who had a crucial role in Boston's triumph is depicted by the numbers. His reputation as a relentless defender and hustler was solidified by his 3 NBA Hustle Awards, 3 All-Defensive First-Team selections, and his 2022 Defensive Player of the Year award. There was nothing more agonizing than the horrible irony of timing. As Boston handles its finances, Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Luke Cornett, and possibly Al Horford leave. In 2024, the group that Smart helped create and the culture he helped create made it to the summit of the mountain. The championship that had eluded them for so long was finally won. Marcus Smart was not present to join them in their celebration. Smart's journey to the Lakers was a convoluted and regrettable one. Smart only played 20 games in his debut season with the Grizzlies after suffering ailments following his trade to Memphis. It did not take long for the team that had sacrificed a lot to get him to understand their error. They believed they were getting the Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart, who could stabilize their defense and offer seasoned leadership, but he appeared to have lost a step due to injury. After that, Memphis made the decision to relocate to Washington, which was basically a pay dump. As part of a multiplayer agreement with the Memphis Grizzlies, Smart was moved to the Washington Wizards in February 2024. Due to injuries, he averaged few minutes in his 15 games with the Wizards. Being on a rebuilding team that was consciously attempting to lose games must have been heartbreaking for a player who had been the emotional leader of teams who were in the running for championships. The Wizards had no use for a veteran like Smart and instead concentrated on developing their young players and obtaining a high draft pick. The Wizards made a move inevitable by concentrating on rebuilding and allowing Smart to consult with other teams prior to completing the buyout. It was obvious that Smart needed to relocate to a place where he could help the team win basketball games once more.
You get a guy like Luka calling, referencing, checking on you, trying to see where you at to see, and that if you want to come and join something special that he's trying to cook up over here. And for him to say that, to see that he can really use my help.
Of all the NBA teams, of all the places that might have been a good fit for a guy with Smart's skill and background, the Lakers. The Lakers were the team that would hurt Celtics supporters the most worldwide. One of the NBA's most intense rivalries is between the Celtics and Lakers, with Boston having a slim lead in total titles, 18 to the Lakers' 17. This rivalry is ingrained in the DNA of both teams and transcends basketball. it is cultural and generational. Because of the fierce rivalry between the two teams and the extremely narrow lead the Celtics now have over the Lakers in terms of overall titles won, some Boston fans find the decision offensive. The pain was instantaneous, intense, and visceral. Prominent NBA analyst and Celtics supporter Bill Simmons succinctly conveyed his shock and included a meme that captured the emotional anguish of watching Smart wearing a Lakers uniform. This sentiment was aptly expressed in a podcast response by a fervent Celtics supporter.
Yeah, we're living in a world where Luka Doncic and Marcus Smart, my favorite players, are playing for my least favorite team. So personally, I feel attacked.
Another admirer captured the emotional depth in excellent words.
This feels like you broke up with your girl and then you see her out with your brother 2 weeks later, but your brother didn't tell you. That's how this feels.
The fact that Smart himself was aware of what he was getting into, however, may have been the most significant response.
I can try to anticipate it. I have no idea, but I could definitely tell and say that I'm expecting a lot of boos. I'm expecting a lot of hate. And it's okay. I understand it.
During his initial interview with the Lakers, Smart made it clear that he understood the seriousness of his choice. He was aware that he was stepping across a boundary that would never be crossed again. We must go back to November 2021, a moment that would permanently alter the dynamics within the Celtics organization and lay the groundwork for everything that came after, in order to fully comprehend the enormity of this drama. The Celtics had just lost to the Chicago Bulls 128-114. Blowing a 19-point lead. Frustrations were running high as the club struggled early in the season with a dismal 2-5 record. However, the events that followed would rock the organization and cause a schism that many people think never completely mended. Marcus Smart made the decision to publicly voice his complaints, a decision that astounded everyone in attendance. On November 1, 2021, Marcus Smart publicly chastised Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown for their lack of ball movement following the Celtics' 128-114 loss to the Chicago Bulls, in which they lost a 19-point lead. For years to come, the basketball community would be affected by his measured yet incisive remarks.
I would just like to play basketball. Every team knows we're trying to go to Jayson and Jaylen. And every team is programmed and studied to stop Jayson and Jaylen. I think everybody's talent report is make those guys try to pass the ball. They don't want to pass the ball. And that's something that they're going to learn.
The Celtics locker room was rocked by the statement, they do not want to pass the ball. On national television, the team's two top players were openly criticized by their defensive anchor and emotional leader. The ramifications were astounding. This was not a private chat that leaked or an anonymous leak to a reporter. Marcus Smart was addressing the media directly when he questioned Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown's basketball acumen and judgment. It was considerably more harmful because of the circumstances. Following a game in which Brown was scoreless on 2 shots and Tatum labored in the fourth quarter, scoring only 2 points on 1 for 8 shooting, Smart made these remarks. With both players forcing tough shots rather than finding open teammates, the Celtics offense had become stale and predictable. For Jayson Tatum, who was taking on the role of the franchise's face and bearing a lot of pressure, Smart's public critique was a surprise. After several months, when she appeared on JJ Redick's program,
Caught me off guard, for sure. And I think what you have to, I guess, understand, I think with being in the NBA, is especially sometimes after, we had just blown a 18-point lead or something to Chicago.
Tatum's answer was instructive. He made an explicit reference to being caught off guard, which implied that he and Smart had not previously discussed these concerns. Having your teammate openly criticize your decision-making without any prior conversation was a serious violation of protocol in professional basketball, where camaraderie and trust are crucial. The team could now concentrate on basketball as the players had resolved their differences and were on their way. While Smart, Tatum, and Brown continued to work together on the court, those with knowledge of the situation recognized that the seeds of strife had been sown. Under the surface, there were hints that something was amiss. T times, the organic chemistry that had been growing between Tatum and Smart felt forced. The casual friendship that had characterized their relationship during Smart's formative years gave way to something more strategic and circumspect. The Celtics would go on to have a successful 2021-22 season, making it to the NBA Finals before losing to the Golden State Warriors. With a great on-court synergy between Smart and Tatum, the Celtics' performance improved dramatically during the 2021-22 season and they advanced to the NBA Finals. On paper, Smart and Tatum appeared to have a strong statistical relationship, and his position as a facilitator was clear. But those who paid careful attention could detect the tiny changes in their interactions. Where there had been natural flow and spontaneous chemistry, their relationship now appeared to be more mechanical. During the 2021-22 season, Smart demonstrated his ability to facilitate by dishing out 310 assists, 96 of which went to Tatum alone, and generating 226 points directly from those assists. Both players made all the necessary public statements. Ever the professional, Tatum commended Smart's basketball acumen and seasoned leadership. In an interview with ESPN's Doris Burke in March 2023, Tatum called Smart his favorite player to play with and lauded his great basketball IQ and passing abilities. Nevertheless, there was a sense of preparation in his praise as well, as if he were reciting a script rather than speaking spontaneously. In actuality, the November 2021 event had radically altered the dynamic between Smart and the young players on the Celtics, which would subsequently come to represent the tension. Smart was shooting just 29% and averaged 8.8 points and 4 assists when he was publicly criticized. In the meantime, Brown was becoming a reliable backup and Tatum was solidifying his status as an All-NBA player. The hierarchy was obvious, and Smart's public remarks appeared to be about the team ball movement as much as his personal annoyance with his evolving role. The incident's aftermath also uncovered intriguing viewpoints from various basketball communities. As a seasoned leader, Smart has the right to voice his opinions. According to several observers and former players, there was a persistent tension that implied their relationship had been drastically changed by that November night in 2021, despite the fact that they were still playing together and succeeding on the court. What this means for legacy, rivalries, and championships. The most important question is hidden below the drama, emotions, and fan reactions. What exactly does Marcus Smart's presence signify for the Lakers' hopes of winning a championship, the Western Conference as a whole, and the future of one of the most legendary rivalries in NBA history? Beyond the $11 million price tag, this transaction has far-reaching basketball consequences that might change the course of several organizations and pave the way for some of the most exciting plotlines in recent NBA history. Let us begin with Smart's contributions to a Lakers squad in dire need of his particular set of abilities. A three-time member of the All-Defensive First Team and the 2022 NBA Defensive Player of the Year, Smart is anticipated to help the Lakers fill their point guard void. Filling a noticeable void that has bedeviled the Lakers for years is more important than simply adding another player to the rotation. Lakers insider Mike Trudell's basketball analysis encapsulated Smart's defensive worth.
Yeah. So like he's still on the I think he's either 30 or 31. And he like the type of player that he is, as you referred to, is exactly what the Lakers would want. Somebody that you can play next to Luka or next to Austin or even with both of them, since he can defend up. Like Smart is a strong guy.
Right.
He can defend, he can switch, he can hang in there on bigs.
With LeBron James starting his 23rd NBA season and Luka Doncic solidifying his position as the team's focal point, the fit with the Lakers' top players is especially intriguing. Elite defensive energy and seasoned leadership from 108 career postseason games are two things that Smart offers that neither team can match. Smart himself said he had faith in the group's abilities.
Stack right up there with the best of them. And I think our ceiling is high. I think there's no ceiling.
However, Smart's influence extends beyond specific data. His contributions of intensity, leadership, and basketball IQ, as well as his role as a persistent defender and pest, meet the cultural demands of championship teams. Since their 2020 championship run, the Lakers have not had a player with Smart's defensive background and emotional leadership. The earlier examination of Smart's influence by J.J. Redick was especially perceptive.
He's a guy that just makes winning plays consistently.
There are advantages and disadvantages to the offensive integration. Known for his ability to create plays, Smart is a complementary player. Hustle and a career average of 4.6 assists per game, but he has limits. Given that Doncic thrives with shooters surrounding him, his career shooting percentages of 38.8% from the field and 32.4% from three-point range raise valid questions regarding space in an offense that will largely showcase him. However, these worries might be allayed by Smart's basketball acumen and comprehension of his role. He will not overburden the offense, as evidenced by his low shot volume, less than 6,000 career tries in 11 seasons, and awareness of his limits. He is anticipated to be a backup ball handler behind stars Doncic and Austin Reeves, most likely starting off the bench. The consequences for roster construction are similarly intriguing. The Lakers' acquisition of Smart has raised rumors regarding potential roster additions, especially in relation to Gabe Vincent's $11.5 million deal that is about to expire. Vincent's role may become less important as Doncic and Reeves are anticipated to play more minutes, which would make him a trade option for further roster upgrades. Smart represents the DFS replacement spiritually in terms of being a strong communicator and a defensive culture setter, similar to how Dorian Finney-Smith impacted winning without flashy statistics. analyst Jovan Buhar said when he explained the strategic thinking behind the Lakers' summer moves. It is impossible to overstate the ramifications for the Western Conference. Smart thinks the Lakers can contend with the Thunder, Nuggets, and Rockets, which are among the best teams in the Western Conference. His postseason experience and defensive adaptability may be vital in a conference with narrow margins of error. The largest wild card in this equation is still the health element. It is troubling because Smart has a recent injury history. Over the previous 2 seasons, he only appeared in 54 games, losing time because of an injury to his right index finger. His longevity is in doubt at age 31, and the Lakers' chances of winning a title might depend on his ability to remain healthy during pivotal moments. According to Smart, he appears to be highly motivated.
To be honest, I'm itching. I'm like the dog that you got the treat dangling in him, and you got him on a leash, and he's just like, just let me go, just let me go. Like I said, I'm a competitor, and I love playing basketball.
Timeline factors for the championship are quite important. A win-now roster is built around LeBron James, who is starting his 23rd NBA season, and Doncic, who is eligible for a 4-year, $222 million extension beginning August 2, 2025. Smart's 2-year contract is ideal for this championship window, but he has flexibility for 2026 free agency because to the player option in his contract. Coach J.J. Redick has several alternatives because of Smart's adaptability from a tactical perspective. The Lakers' goal under Redick is to strike a balance between offensive power and defensive adaptability, and Smart's arrival provides them with a guard with a defensive mindset that they can use against top Western Conference backcourts. Smart, 31, is at a point in his career where his next big salary could be his last, so this Lakers opportunity offers him both financial stability and the possibility to create a lasting legacy. The big question still stands: can this Lakers team contend for a championship with Smart as a key defensive component? Powerhouse clubs in the Western Conference include Denver, Oklahoma City, and an upgraded Houston team led by Kevin Durant. Smart's signing tightens the distance and gives the Lakers a real chance to make an impact in the playoffs. Even though it might not make them a title favorite, Marcus Smart's choice to join the Lakers has undoubtedly produced one of the most captivating narratives in recent NBA history. His influence on the league goes much beyond basketball numbers, regardless of whether he contributes to Los Angeles winning a title or turns into another cautionary tale about aging veterans vying for rings. In addition to giving Lakers fans hope and breaking hearts in Boston, he has fueled the greatest rivalry in NBA history and set the stage for what is sure to be one of the most intensely emotional seasons in recent memory. Similar to this video, to learn more, click on the cards that are displayed on your screen.